gentlemen. Today what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make some Crab Rangoon, homemade, and some crab dip. Okay, but first, my wife knows me, so she went ahead and sought out the fireball. So we're going to go ahead and take us a shot. Alright, cheers. Okay. So, what we're going to do first is we're going to come over to our ingredients. I'll kind of explain them to you real quick. What we've got is some egg roll wraps. Normally, you would want wontons, but the stores that I go to don't have wontons. So I get the egg roll wraps and I just cut them to the size that I like. We've got some green onions. We've got, this is crab flavored seafood sticks. Crab is quite a bit more expensive. This does taste very good, so that's the reason why I use that. Philadelphia cream cheese, I really suggest getting actual Philadelphia cream cheese. The knockoff brand or the cheaper stuff, just to me, doesn't have as good a flavor. And then I always use club crackers. You can use Ritz, any other crackers like that. And then soy sauce. Okay. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and get out a knife. And we're going to go ahead and start cutting up our green onions. Alright. And while we do that, let's go ahead and what I like to do is I like to soften the Philadelphia cream cheese. What that does is it makes it much easier to mix. So let's get this unwrapped. And in the bowl you go. Get the second one. Okay, in the bowl you go. Now I don't like to microwave these a whole lot. I don't want to start cooking it. I just want to soften it. So what we're going to do, usually for two 8-ounce bars, I guess, of Philadelphia cream cheese, I usually do 45 seconds. All right, so we'll go ahead and get that started. So that way that's nice and soft by the time we go ahead and are ready to mix our ingredients into it. So first off, we're going to start with our green onions. Ooh, that was a good one. So what we're going to do first is cut off the ends from where they grow from, and I usually just give them a quick chop. Set them off to the side, quick chop. Now, alright, I was told to slide down just a little bit more. Alright, so what the recipe calls for is 4 smaller or medium-sized green onions per 8-ounce block of Philadelphia cream cheese. Now, these are a little bit on the larger side. These aren't the little skinny ones. So I'm going to use 6. 3 for 1 ounce, 3 for the other 8 ounce. And then what I always do, this is just what I've always done, is I just cut off the very, very ends, just because sometimes there's wilted pieces and stuff like that. So that's just the way I like to do it. Then I'm going to go over here to the sink and just give them a quick little rinse. These here weren't awful dirty. If you get a dirty one, just make sure you clean it up. As far as that goes, give them a shake. And then what I like to do first is go ahead and cut right down the middle as best you can. Those there, I couldn't get in the middle, so that's just the way that it goes. Like that there. Then what we're going to do, I just go ahead and cut it right in half. Now, if you like smaller pieces of green onion and the crab, if you like smaller pieces, then go ahead and cut them up smaller. But I actually like to be able to see what it is that I'm eating as far as that goes. So what I'll do is I'll actually cut these about 1/8 inches, 1/8 of an inch wide as I go down. And we're just going to go ahead and cut all of it up. Sometimes you get some bigger pieces in there, and that's just the way that it goes. As it gets towards the end, it's a little bit more difficult. So we'll just kind of fly through there, cut up some bigger pieces if you get them. Like I said, I like to have some of them so I actually know what I'm eating as far as that goes. So basically, somewhat similar to that. So we're going to go ahead and throw those in to our cream cheese that we softened for 45 seconds. Then what we're going to do, come over here and grab our imitation crab meat. But to me, like I said, it tastes just the same. I haven't been able to. So take the little plastic wrappers off these. So, once again, I like to know that I'm actually biting into a piece of crab or like a noticeable chunk. So I'm just going to cut these right in half. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, I'm not the best chopper. But what we want to do now, once again, 1/8 inch slices to 1/4, depending on what you like as far as how big. And then if you like smaller, I mean, there's been some times I've made it for people and they're like, yeah, if you could just make the crab quite a bit smaller, and I put it in my little mini food chopper, and that's worked great too. So get that there. All right, get the other 4. Enough for the girls I go with. Wife hates it when I say that. And I've got a new videographer today. She said it was the one that suggested that I actually put myself into the camera versus just focusing on the food and the bowls and the pans and everything else like that. I don't know if it's the best move in the world, but that's what we went with. So what I'm going to do is throw this in a plastic bag because I'm not making a quadruple batch today. I'm just making a double batch. And the instructions at the very beginning, guys, they're going to be for a single batch, which is 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese, 4 small or 3 large green onions, and then 4 sticks of crab meat. And it's going to go down to 1.5 teaspoons of the soy sauce, which is our next ingredient. Now, I don't like to put the soy sauce in it when I haven't mixed it yet, okay? For the simple reason is if I get a whole bunch of soy sauce in these crab meat pieces, it's going to soak into them. And we don't want that. We want it to soak into more of the cream cheese. So if you wanted to put it in the cream cheese at the very beginning, you know, give it a quick mix and then mix it in the cream cheese, that's great too. But I like to give it a chance to get in the cream cheese and the green onions and the crab meat all at the same time. So what I'll do is I'll just mix up all of this. And like I said, you can see that these are big chunks. Okay? You can see that these are big chunks in there. Alright? So it's one of those things, if you like smaller chunks, go ahead and put in smaller chunks. But the reason why I like doing it like this is because we're doing actually 2 recipes today. It's the same recipe. We just do different things with it. We're going to do what's called crab dip, which a lot of my family members just love. But then the other thing is going to go, this is basically just the filling for Crab Rangoon. And this is what I use for the filling of Crab Rangoon, but I really enjoy it. It's really good. So we'll go over here, we'll grab 1 tablespoon because we are going in to a double batch, a tablespoon. So 1 tablespoon. All right, and it was a white, you know, very cream cheesy color before, and then now, as we mix this all together, it's going to kind of brown up because that soy sauce is getting in there, and that's really good. And I mean, it makes it salty. Now, if you're using Kikkoman's or any other kind of soy sauce other than, like I said, La Choy in my experience is one of the saltiest tastings. It probably has the most salt content in it too, but it gives it a lot of good flavor. So what we're going to do is mix this all around until it's a good consistency and it looks like it's been mixed through. So as you can see now, we have what we like to call our crab dip. All right. So this here would just go into a serving bowl, and that's actually what we're going to do. I use Tupperware. This is my serving bowls. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and scoop some in there, and then if you're going to a get-together or occasion or just sitting on the couch eating this, it's just good. It's really good just like that. So you just take it like this, put the lid on it, and you're all set to go with a nice good appetizer or side or just a snack as far as that goes. So now we've got basically our main ingredient is made. So now what we're going to do is I'll come back in just a little bit and we'll go ahead and make our wontons, get them prepped and ready to go in some oil on the stove, and we're going to make some Crab Rangoon. I'll be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. I got kind of set up to do the Crab Rangoon. We've got our egg roll wraps, and I've got a little bit of water here. We've still got our mixture. My wife went to town on it with a few crackers. And then we've got oil, and we've got our pan to go ahead and fry the Crab Rangoons in. Now, what I like to do is get out some paper towels, all right, because this does get a little wet and sloppy as far as that goes. So what we're going to do is go ahead and cut open. Super sharp knife. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut open our egg roll wraps. And this is basically what they come like. You see here, just little thin wraps, you know. But like I said, usually you want wonton wraps, but the store that I was at did not have it. So what I like to do is go ahead and lay them out on the cutting board, and it's still a little wet. I rinsed it off from the other stuff. Now, I don't want to make a huge Crab Rangoon like this here, because that's going to be super big. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, if you get egg roll wraps, they're a little, in my opinion, easier to find than the wonton wraps. What we're going to want to do is want to cut these down. Now, I did find that if you cut them in half each way, they're quite a bit too small. Alright, trying to get those wrapped up, as far as they're just a little bit too small. So this is, and I don't make these very often, so it's one of those things where there's usually quite a bit left over when it comes to the egg roll wraps. So what I do, it's kind of wasteful, and I guess I could fry them up by themselves because they are nice and crispy and airy and everything like that. But what I like to do is go ahead and cut it roughly about, this is probably 6 by 6, but I like to make it roughly 4 by 4. So I'm just roughly cutting off 2 inches of either side. Now, in my opinion, that's almost the perfect size, and that's basically the size of a wonton wrap. Alright, so what I do is come over here, and I'll just go through and I'll just rough cut. Like I said, this isn't exact science or anything else like that. Is I'll cut up, the one batch will usually make about 15 or so Crab Rangoons. So let's go ahead and just cut out 15 of these suckers. So we'll put that down there, and there's quite a few more than just one here. So across there, and we've got 2 there, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, we're almost there. Okay. Oh, looks like they put approximate count 15 in there. Hey, maybe that's the reason why I know it makes 15. Weird. All right. So what we've got is we've got our 15, actually 14 now because I destroyed that first one. We've got our 15 egg roll wraps cut into wonton sizes. All right, so we'll clean up real quick like. So now what we want to do is we want to separate this out. We want to take one wonton wrapper, place it down. And then what we're going to want is roughly about a tablespoon, okay, just about a tablespoon. And we're just going to scoop up some mixture, something about like that, just a heaping tablespoon, and we're going to drop it right there in the middle. All right. Then we're going to use our fingers, get them wet, and we're going to want to go around the outsides of the wontons, or I'm sorry, the egg roll wraps. All right. Just like that. Then we're going to want to fold in and pinch in the middle. Okay, and I usually fold mine over the edges just to kind of seal everything up so it makes kind of like a pyramid or so. I don't know if you can get that there, but something along those lines. I usually fold the corners up to make it a square. Then that way when I put it in the oil, it'll fry and hopefully all of those sides will stay together. There is a little bit of flour in there, so it does create somewhat of kind of like a paste. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and do it one more time and just take these outside edges and fold those up as well, you can do that too. Let's just do that with this one. See how it works, huh? Alright, so that's basically your Crab Rangoon homemade style. I can't duplicate what they do at the restaurants, but that's what I like to go with. So we're just going to set those off to the side because you don't want to put that one in the oil and then start frying that one, and then you're making the next one. That one will burn before you get a chance to get back over there. Now, it's going to take me a little while, so let's go ahead and get some oil in the pan. What we're going to do is we're going to fill up the pan with probably about an inch worth of oil. Okay, we don't need a whole lot in there, but we want it a little bit more than just pan frying. Alright, so we're going to do about an inch of oil, and then we're going to go ahead and set it on medium-high heat. It's going to take me a little while to do this. That's going to take a little while to warm up, so we'll come right back at you when we get everything ready to go in the pot. Thanks a lot. Our oil is almost up to temperature, but we had a visitor come and see us. And he likes Fireball just as much as I do.
Damn right.
So you get the 40 and hot, so buy me a shot.
Right on.
Alright, so...
By the way, is our brother-in-law, Richard. We just call him Dick.
That's what I prefer.
Alright. Cheers, brother.
Good, buddy.
There we go. Very nice. Alright, back to the action. Alright guys, what we've got is we've got all of our wontons, our egg roll wraps with our Crab Rangoon meat filling in them. And it looks like I ended up with 13. I said I'd do 15. Looks like my wife ate 2 before they were even wrapped. But that's okay. Alright, so what we're going to do, we've got our oil up to temperature. What we're going to do is just go ahead and throw in all of our, or as many as that we can get in here at one time, into the oil. And this pan should be able to do all of them at the same time. Alright, now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to keep a real close eye on these. Get out some more paper towels because you're going to need to drain them. But if you come over here one more time, babe. You're going to start to see that they're starting to get a little bit brown. See that little browning there? Okay. You don't want to get them too burnt. They will go black pretty fast, so you got to stay right on top of them. And all we're really doing, guys, is just cooking the outside. All right. So when we flip, see a nice browning there. So we want to make sure and go through and make sure and flip all of them. And then we'll get ready to pull them on out here in about 2 minutes. Because we're not really cooking anything on the inside. Everything's already ready to eat. We're just cooking the outsides. All right, I'll give these on this side just a little bit long. I've got a hot side over there, so baby, you can go back if you want. It's up to you. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get these on out. As soon as they get done, oh yeah, getting real nice and brown here. There we go. Like I said, and I've got room in here for 2 more. So I usually do 15, but somebody did eat 2 already. Yeah, love you too, sweetheart. She gave me the bird. Alright, so what we've got, guys, is we're going to take these on out because we've got a nice light brown on there. We don't want to get them too overly done. Like this here, this one on that one, that's starting to get a little bit overdone. You know, that's almost a little bit too much on that side. So we want to make sure and keep them moving around. My center and my outside here are usually what's done first. So that one there looks real good. And it's kind of like with my chicken. If you saw my chicken recipe, what I like to do is these are kind of flat or so, but I like to set them on their sides. So that way it gives a chance for all of it to cool going down around there. Okay, that one there is done. You're just going to want to pick and choose which ones are done as you go through here. And plus, by setting it on the side, does allow all the grease to drain off. All right.
Way better when you said it.
I know, that's what I thought. I thought it sounded way better when I said it. I love you, sweetie. All right, so we are getting to the end of these Crab Rangoons. We're going to go ahead and pull them all the way out.
Man, I'm already getting, comments on this recipe here, Nick.
What's that?
I'm already getting comments on this recipe.
You're already getting comments on this recipe?
People were saying, it looks dang good, buddy.
If we were live streaming, I would believe that. He says, good God, man, I'm trying to give you props over here. All right, we got the last one yet to go. It was just a little bit white on that side, so what we're going to do is give it just a few more seconds in there. All right, good enough for the girls I go with. All right, go ahead and turn off the heat. We'll get it over here. On this side, we'll get out a plate, and our guest is going to give us a review on, hey, wait, do you like Crab Rangoon?
Yes.
Okay, then, our guest over here is going to give us a review on how our Crab Rangoon turned out. So what we're going to do, I pulled these out last, so these over here are going to be the coolest. All right, we're going to go with one like that there. We're going to go ahead and cut it in half, just so you can see the inside filling. All right, can you see it, sweetheart? Mm-hmm. Okay, all those in there, nice big chunks of crab and green onions and everything else like that. So, go ahead and give that a shot when it's cool enough. You don't have to hit it up right now. I can edit the video. He's going for it anyways.
This is gotta go in the
I need to bring him on every episode. He's like, Oh.
It's good.
It's good? Alright. For that, we get another fireball. Alright. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and end this video here with a shot with my buddy. And if you try it, like it. If not, too bad. Cheers.